comma.
Oh. Hi everyone, Kat Miller here with Blue Iris Learning Center, and we're here live. I've got Brent here helping me out. He's going to be paying attention to what you're sending, and we'll try and answer as many questions as we can as we're going through. Starting off, I was thinking that right now a lot of people have been a little bit nervous about immunity and staying well, and there were a few things that I wanted to say up front on that. B is your switch word for being in peace and wellness. And so if you can't think of anything else, B is amazing to work with all by itself. And I love B, 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 B. We have had so many success stories from people who have done that, especially with young children who are crying and crying and crying. Personally, I've experienced that with a grandson who was inconsolable at about 8 months of age, and just doing that and continuing for a few minutes, it calmed him down and he was good. We also have immunity, which is about being protected from accident, harm, maintain wellness. Avalon is about inherent timeless wellness and peaceful, abundant living. And maintain is to take on responsibility. Now, when you want to be well, you also need to be responsible for your wellness. If you are trying to maintain your wellness and you're eating a lot of sugar, sweets, drinking sodas, all of those things are impeding your path to wellness. You want to make sure you're maintaining yourself. I wanted to give you a list of a few things that are important for your immune system to help keep your immune system in tip-top shape. One is get your sunshine. And when I say sunshine, I mean outdoor sunshine. Sun coming in through the window, that's great for uplifting your mood. But outside, you've got, as my daughter calls it, your vitamin D makers exposed to the sun. Your bare skin. She pulls her pant legs up and says, got my vitamin D makers going right now. So getting sunshine is one of the most important things when it comes to maintaining your health. You also want to be sure you have omega-3, your essential fatty acids, in your diet, because those are what enable the body to make the vitamin D. So vitamin C is also important for immunity, and so keep vitamin C up. I personally prefer a powder over chewables or anything like that, because your chewables, they're going to have either sugar or a sugar substitute, and the sugar substitutes I personally think are worse than sugar itself. So you want to do that. And then water. Oh, you hear Kat talk about water all the time. Water is so important, because when you are trying to get rid of toxins, you've got to have the river flowing. If you are not drinking enough water, your body doesn't have everything it needs to get rid of all of the toxins. And so be sure that you are drinking plenty of water. One of the recommendations I always make, and this came out of total body modification and natural healing, two of the healing techniques that I use. And the recommendation is for every 50 pounds or 23 kilograms of body weight, drink 1 quart or 1 liter of water plus 2 more at the end of the addition. And so say you weigh around or just over 100 pounds, you're talking 2 plus 2 is 4. So 4 quarts or 4 liters, because that's the same conversion, of water a day. It may sound like it's way, way too much, but your body will adjust. You don't overflow it by drinking way more than your body can handle at one time. In fact, you have a safety mechanism that when you try to overload your body with too much water at one time, you get kind of a sickly feeling. Don't override that. Just drink the water frequently, several swallows at a time, several times in an hour. You also, in order to encourage yourself and remember, every time you take that last swallow of water, refill the cup now, the bottle, whatever. So water, water, water. And I already talked about avoiding the sugars and avoid grains as much as you can as well. Sprouted grains are good because that turns them into vegetables. But it's also important to have protein in your diet and fresh produce, your fresh fruits, your fresh vegetables. You can juice your vegetables, but note that when you juice fruits, fruit juice is virtually 100% sugar. So you may want to skip the fruit juices and eat the whole fruit because it has everything. It has all the nutrition for you. So those are just a few things. I figured it would be a good idea to start off giving you a few hints about some things to do to help with your immunity.
So Rochelle Lewis says, hi, Kat.
Well, hello, Rochelle.
Sarah Vora says, Switchwords for passing CA final. Not exactly sure what CA is, but...
Okay. Now, we do have an article at Blue Iris Learning Center for students. It's just, I try to make the links really easy. It's student.blueiris.org, and you will see a lot of recommendations for students for testing. Qualified, I love Qualified. I love Triumph and Victory, Genius. Those are all things that can be useful. Now, what I've also found is that your switch pairs, Care Reach and Reach Care, are awesome when it comes to studying and taking your examinations. You can use the Care Reach when you are studying. Care is about memorizing, it's about remembering. And when you use Care Reach, I found that it seems to put it in a space for quick, easy retrieval. And then when you reverse that switch pair and say Reach Care, Reach is about finding the answer, it's about finding the solution, it's about solving a problem. So Reach Care when you're doing the test. So those are just a couple of things that are useful. If you look at the Facebook groups, you'll also find that there are energy circles specific for that. I have a little bit of a handicap because I don't have access to look up everything on my computer right now. I'm just winging everything for you guys, and so you're getting things off the top of my head, which I guess is pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah. And then Simonil Jaswala Says, hello, thank you for all your help. Can you tell me how many energy circles can be used on a wall? And how many personalized? For example, we have 3 personalized. Can we use other energy circles?
Okay, energy circles. As far as it goes, when you are broadcasting, which is hanging on the wall, face up on a surface, out in the open, if they don't have a name in it, you can use as many as you want. We have people that almost wallpaper their house with energy circles, and that's just fine. You can do as many as you want. You can also charge water with as many energy circles as you wish. And all you need to do when it comes to charging is you set the water on the energy circle. If you have the energy circle on your phone screen or your computer screen, you can hold the glass of water in front of it. Or my laptop, I would turn it on its side and set the water just on the table next to the screen and let it charge. You need a minimum of 15 seconds per energy circle, but you can also charge it with as many as you wish. So that's one way that you can work with a whole bunch of them. Now, when it comes to the personalized energy circles, the maximum you want to be broadcasting at one time is 3. If you go beyond that, you risk an overwhelm, some of them not working. It was information that came up right in the early stages of working with energy circles to limit the personalized energy circles to 3 broadcasting at a time. And people may say, Kat, I do a consult and you send me all these energy circles and then you tell me I can only use 3 of them? Well, there are workarounds. One, you can use energy circle viewer, presentations, a digital frame to display energy circles. And you have it display for a minimum of 15 seconds because that's how long it takes for it to broadcast. Or you can let it last longer and then just have the slideshow going. And you can actually run it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And as the energy circle is only broadcasting when it's up on the screen, you can put as many energy circles in the slideshow as you wish. And that helps you get past the limit. Another thought is, what if, I've had this question come up, what if I have 3 personalized energy circles broadcasting and I have a slideshow going on digital frame or something? When it comes to that, what happens is when another personalized energy circle comes up on the screen, so now that suddenly made it so that there are 4, it automatically takes precedence and it will discontinue one of the others that's up until that energy circle is off the screen. So you don't have to worry a lot about that. I do not recommend going 3, 4, whatever frames that you're constantly doing. Just use one frame, one digital frame to do the energy circles. But you can run them 24/7. I do, and I probably have 150 or more energy circles loaded and running through, and they're going 24 hours a day. Have been for 5 years maybe? At least 5 years. Okay.
So Sonia Vasudeo says, keep me in your prayers, ma'am, and I'd like to ask them why. You can ask us for anything. Feel free to add a little more comments so we can help you.
You people are always in my prayers. I love my people. I love all of you in our groups that work with us. I have seen so much growth from people coming into the group, learning, and then helping new members. And I think you guys are absolutely amazing. I couldn't do everything with Switchwords without you.
Then Gary Kulkarni says, hello, Kat. good morning to both, and thanks for doing live session such an early hour. You're welcome.
Oh, my early hour is 3 to 4 o'clock in the morning. 6 o'clock in the morning, that's an early hour for Brent, I think.
So, gaming with Assassin, interesting handle. I hope you have fun streaming games. How appropriate is using Divine Together before every switch phrase? Should images be preferred to energy circles? And sorry about the name. It's my son's account. We enjoy the name.
Yep. You got catitude. My daughter bought that cup for me. We saw it at the store one day, and haven't modified the C to make it a K, because after all, I am catitude.
Remember the question?
I totally forgot the question. Aren't I good?
How appropriate is Divine Together before every switch
okay.
phrase?
Okay.
And should images be preferred in energy circles?
I don't use a lot of images in energy circles. Sometimes I use like a heart in an energy circle inside an energy circle to add the extra love and such that a heart stands for. But not too often do I add images, though you can. We do tend to avoid symbols because there are so many symbols out there. Even though there are some positive symbols, some of the ones that are out there actually have a negative energy, and they're in the same group, like sigils. Sigils, there are some very positive sigils, but there are also some sigils with very negative energies. And so in order to maintain the integrity and keep a positive flow, I generally don't put that type of thing in the energy circle. I like energy circles over images. You can always use some kind of another image as an energy circle if you wish. The only thing that really matters is whatever the shape is, it's completely closed, that you don't have breaks in the line, because that invalidates it. And so you want to make sure of that. Otherwise, you're good. The Divine Together and Together Divine, those two switch pairs are awesome. The Divine Together is working on a relationship between you and another person or other people. And yes, it's fine to add that as a prefix or even a suffix if you want to a switch phrase. If you would like to, just recognize that your switch phrases generally, you don't want to go more than 8, 9, maybe maximum 12 words in a switch phrase. But here's a catch. When you do a switch phrase and you're chanting it, 2, 3, 4 words, much easier to remember than 8, 9, 10. So if you're going to be chanting a switch phrase, you may want to keep it short and sweet. Now, flipping back to the other switch pair, the Together Divine is about relationship with yourself. And so if you're creating switch phrases about improving your relationship with yourself, about self-improvement, yes, Together Divine. And I made a little rhyme. I have presented it before, but I'll present it again here, that helps you to remember which one is for what. And so the Divine Together, relationship other. Together Divine, relationship mine. And so there you have a little simple rhyme to make it so that you can remember which way they go. Did I answer?
I think you did. And Rhoda has appeared and says, "Good day, good evening to all." Mm-hmm. Hi, Rhoda.
Rhoda. We have been together as the best of friends since 2005. So we're coming into 16 years now.
Yep. And Thriti Tantra says, thank you so much, Kat. Navneet Kohli, that is nice, okay. Navneet Kohli, nice to see you live. And then Falguni Rava, I think I said that. I hope I'm not slaughtering you guys' names, but I apologize if I am. Hi, Kat. Good morning from Michigan. What is one switch word to use for in any difficult situation one does not have time to look up?
B, 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 B. Or together. Either one of those. Together is about mastering anything. And it's your master switch word. So you can just say together. And here's a cool thing. When it comes to the switch words, the more you use them, the more you remember them, and the more they come up in your mind when you have situations that come up that you want something. And so read over the list frequently. They're freely available at Blue Iris Learning Center. Read over them. Make notes in your mind about, oh, that's a great one for me for this situation or such.
No, let's see here. Yeah, Gaming with Assassin says thank you.
You're welcome.
And then Simonil Jaswala says, ma'am, we are truly blessed to connect with you. Thank you so much for a wonderful opportunity. May the divine bless you immensely.
Thank you.
And Falguni says, thank you. Then it says, the Memi 23, thank you, Cat Rotor Studio, and the lovely team for helping all the time.
Yes.
So, my request is, peeps, you have something you want to hear about too? Questions, please type them in.
Yeah. Yes, the questions help because then I can center for you and bring whatever it is that you want to know to you.
All right. Seminole Jaswala would like to know how long they should chant each phrase.
There is no rule on how many times or how long or whatever, but when it comes to if you want to set a time, maybe 2 minutes. We also had James T. Mangan tell us in his book, The Secret of Perfect Living, which is the original source of switch words. It was published in 1963, so it's been out there for a long time. He said when he repeated the switch word together 28 times as quickly as he could without losing breath, he experienced a magnificent week. It was just everything just flowed for him. We have taken that further and said, hey, here's some opportunity. You can repeat whatever phrase 28 times, see what happens. And Rhoda, bless her soul, she said, why not tap through the basic recipe sequence of the emotional freedom techniques, repeating the switch phrase twice on each point, and then add in the gamut point, because that's a total of 14 points, which means if you repeat it twice on each point while you're tapping, you've just done it 28 times without trying to count, without having to keep track. And if you're not familiar with the emotional freedom technique, this is point 1. You could say together, 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 together. I just repeated it 28 times. I didn't have to count because I just went through those steps. Now you'll find the sequence on Blue Iris. If you look at the menu, you'll see about vials, and it's under the emotional freedom vial that you will find information on that. I believe a direct link is ref as in reference .blueiris.org, I love to make short, easy subdomain names that make it really fast and easy for me to find things and give links out. So, we have more?
Yes. It's me, good handle. Says, hello, Kat. Good to see you live. Can you please give easy switch word to ward off all curses? Do you have anything for that?
Okay. Sage is the first thing that comes up. Sage is about dispelling negative energy and evil, I guess you would say. So you've got Sage as one switch word. To keep yourself protected, we have guard, we have wall. So you can do something like Sage, guard, wall. There's watchman, which is about feeling more secure, being more secure, because a watchman watches over you. And so you have those things that can be very helpful in that kind of a situation. I also want you to recognize that, yes, people can send the evil eye, they can do black magic, they can do these things. But you have to believe that they can access you in sending those things in order for those to actually get to you. So when you know all the way deep that you are protected, you are protected. Okay?
Cool. All right, gaming with assassin. Do the different number codes have different rules to follow regarding the chanting and writing ways?
As far as it goes, each of the channels that brings us numbers has their own perspective and their own filter through which they bring those numbers. And if they were taught that 45 is a manifestation number, they're going to tell you, repeat it 45 times. If they have something in what they've been taught as the number of times you need to repeat their numbers, that's what they're going to tell you. However, we have found that since all of these things come from the original source, you can use any of them in any manner. And so you can repeat 45 times homeopathic vibration rate, or 28 times. Hey, that's a cool thing with this. You can repeat 28 times without counting. You can do that. We have frequencies. You can do the same thing with frequencies. You can really, truly use any of the numbers the same way. Don't get stuck on, Justice says that all sacred numbers are to be repeated 45 times. Don't get stuck on that. Don't get stuck on that somebody says 28, somebody says 7, somebody says 10 minutes, somebody says, don't get stuck on that. Make it easy. Allow yourself to have it easy. Now, when it comes to repeating them, there are a few things that are important. In the things that I present at Blue Iris, I generally will add the commas as delimiters to show you the place value. Like, just one thing, for instance, is a number that always is very easy for me to remember is 1,999,999, which came from Greg Grabavoy, and it's for a sore throat. Now you can say that 1,999,999 if you want to. I found that, generally speaking, pronouncing it out, like the 1,999,999, tends to make it more permanent and last longer. And so I do that. And the reason I added the commas was to make it very easy for you to tell the place values. When you see 1,999,999, you recognize that's 1,999,999, and you don't have to try and figure out how many digits, where do I go. So that's why I do that. And when it comes to numbers, you don't have to say them in English. Switch words, diffusing words, you say them as they are presented. Don't translate those. But numbers, you can use your mother tongue. You don't need to worry about that. There's also one more important thing is when there is a space, not a comma, but a space within, and you'll find this in divine healing codes is one of them, sacred codes frequently too. You'll see 2 digits, a space, 2 digits, a space, 3 digits, or something like that. And what those are is it's one number series, but there are pauses between the sets. And so if it's something like 28 and then a space, 57 and then a space, 129, then you say it that way. 58, what did I say, 27, 159. I don't even have a clue if that's a number. It's just an example. So you want to pay attention. Don't add commas and take out spaces. Don't put in spaces and take out commas. Those two things are important, but how many times you repeat it and how you write it and whether you say it proper out or digit by digit doesn't matter, okay?
All right. See here, Michelle Lewis, a friend has been using some energy circles for courting over a year, and the situation has not been resolved. What can speed up the process?
Okay. Sometimes we're the ones that are in the way. In fact, I love, at one point, Abraham Hicks videos, some of them had a little song at the end. It's like, if you want it, you can have it. Just get out of the way. And that is usually what is stopping things from working, is you standing in the way of it. You are thinking that you don't have it, it's not working, it's not happening, I need it to happen, I need. Those are things that are bringing the lack and extending how long it takes to manifest what it is that you're representing with those. You also want to be aware that switch words have a positive focus. Now, if there is something in what it is that you want that has been negative, okay, let me put it this way. If you're trying to cover up, if you're not holding on to the truth, if you don't have the truth and you're trying to use switch words to manifest something that it's like, I did this and I don't want to have the punishment for having done this. Switch words aren't necessarily going to support that, but they can help to transmute things and make it so that you can take the responsibility and find a path beyond that, a path that takes you into a positive space too. So the biggest wall between what it is that you want and manifestation of it is usually your own mind. Is it here? Are we here yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? And another thing is tunnel vision. You're looking down a tunnel. This is how you expect it. It's going to manifest this way. It's trying to manifest, but it's trying to manifest over here, outside that tunnel that you're looking at. And so opening yourself up, pay attention to inspiration that comes to your mind when you're working with energy circles and switch words, because those inspirations to make a change in what you're thinking, in the way that you're going, the actions that you're taking, that helps you to manifest whatever it is that you want with regard to the switch words.
All right, let's see here. Where were we? The Mimi 23 says, I do switch word pair of the day of the week, switch word of each day of the week, that's what it is. Mm-hmm. And have fantastic results. Also, monthly switch word pairs are fantastic.
Mm-hmm. So everybody knows what they're talking about there. At Cat Thoughts on Facebook, you will find every morning my time, evening there in India, where a lot of our audience is, you will see a switch phrase that comes up for the next day of the week. And you'll see also a listing of switch phrases for each month of the year. And I also have a theme for 2020. And if you really want to look them up, you can go to Blue Iris and once again, themes, themes.blueiris.org. You're going to see the whole list there. But lucky me, I have support that helps me by putting those up. And thank you very much, Manjeri, for loading those up on Cat Thoughts Facebook, because she does do that for me. And she actually is the author of many of the switch phrases that we have in the themes. And so kudos to Manjeri. She's one of our moderators, and she is forever precious.
All right. Seminole Jaswala says, what is your advice for someone who is chanting and yet just never gets the final confirmation and contract for his business? This has been happening for over 6 months.
Well, sounds to me like it's time to start saying that in the past tense. This is happening. Yep, you're going to make it keep happening. Okay? It's what has happened in the past. It's the way it was. Okay? Right now, everything that I have told you already is in the past. It already happened. I already said that. The only thing that is now is now. And in the now, you are creating the future. So when you say, I've been going for 6 months and this just never happens, it never happens, you're putting that, it's never going to happen, it's never going to happen. That's coming into the future because you're putting it in the now. So start putting it in the past. For the past 6 months, things were not coming to fruition. What do you want to happen? You want it to happen? You want it to come in? You want everything to be finalized? Start seeing it is now finalizing. We are now finalizing. Why? Why put it in the now? Because when you look at time, critically look at time, there's no past, there's no future. What there is what you're experiencing right now, right this minute. And in this minute, you are probably looking back at what has already been. And when you carry an emotional charge about an experience that's already been, and when you are repeating and looking at what's already been, what's already happened, you are building that in the now, which means you're putting it into the future. The future never happens because by the time it gets to you, it's now. So put in the now. It is beginning to make sense. Things are beginning to flow for me. I am beginning to see these things. And then you can actually drop the beginning and say, I am seeing these things happen. Start moving away from what you don't want and start putting in the now what you want to have in the future, because you can't have it in the future if you don't put it in the now.
All right, then further went on to say, he uses all the marvelous energy circles. I win, in my favor now. Be possible somehow, but something's not right. So is there any other that you would?
Something is not right. You got that right, that statement. Something's not right. So, one of the best things you can do for yourself when it comes to, and this is what is awesome with the energy circles, set it, forget it. Let it go. Be in the space where you are now. Enjoy being in the now. Giggle, giggle, chuckle. Oh, I love that. Giggle, giggle, chuckle, laugh is really great for energizing. Be in the now. Be in the space. Enjoy what you're doing now. And let go of all that stuff. You've got an energy circle that's already broadcasting for you. It's putting out the energy for you, for what it is that you want. But you're also probably tunnel vision. There are more ways than winning the lottery to come into a lot of money. You also need to be willing to suffer the consequences of achieving what you want. Think about this. You win the lottery. What happens? Okay, so you get money. Then they tax you. Then your relatives, your friends, strangers, companies. Hey, there's a load of money here. I want some. So now you have to suffer the onslaught of everybody wants their piece of your pie. And you have to be willing to accept that that's what may happen. And so there is always something attached to whatever it is that you want. You want to work for a high-tech company, you want to make a lot of money, you have to suffer through the education. You have to suffer through the hours and hours of work and the hours of learning. And you may have to suffer through a lot of setbacks and failures before you get that achievement that you want.
Let's see here. Gaming with Assassin was asking about frequencies, listening to says, haha, yes, frequency. Listening to that frequency will help more, is it? Question. That is it. Anyway. While chanting, do we chant hertz? Or
Okay. When it comes to frequencies, yes. 10,000 hertz, that one always comes up to me because that is very beneficial. It has, I think in our database, we have over 100 applications for that one. It's about pain release. And I remember, how bad is the pain? Well, it's 10,000 hertz. That's that's one way to remember the 10,000 hertz is because it's that strong. But yes, when it's a frequency, you do say hertz. You don't say just 10,000, you say 10,000 hertz or whatever on that. And so you don't have to say what the application is for. You don't have to say where it came from when you're saying it out, when you're chanting. But it is important, if it is a frequency, to say the hertz. And yeah, you can listen to those frequencies. There are free frequency generators available online. You just type in and you can find them. And there are some, I've seen one that has sine waves, and I don't remember what the other ones are, but you can find and generate, if you want to, specific frequencies for whatever it is that you're wanting to work with. So you have that available. And when you put them in energy circles, they're automatically being broadcast to you too. That's one of the coolest things about energy circles, is that they do automatically broadcast things. And there is no limit to how many numbers you put in an energy circle. You only want to do up to 3 switch phrases in an energy circle, but as long as they're legible, however many numbers you want to, frequencies, whatever types of numbers. And yeah, you can mix different types of numbers in an energy circle or in a chant or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's easy.
All right. And Rhoda said something that I do, which is she likes to write the switch words and numbers and stuff on her switch words and DW.
Diffusing words.
Brain just erased on her body.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yes, lots of people like to do that. Your left side is your receiving side. So generally, right on the left. But it really doesn't matter a whole lot. Anywhere on the body is okay. If you have pain somewhere, like a knee that has been causing a lot of pain, you can write the numbers or the switch words down around the area of pain. People ask, color, 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 what color? I need to make sure I get the right color. Color's not real important. It does add a little bit of its attributes in the vibration. Blue is calming, blue is communication, blue is neutral. That's always a good color. Black is just fine too. Green is your color of money, of growth and such. And so if you're looking at money, then green may be a good color to use. If you're looking at getting pregnant because you're growing a new baby, then green is a good color there. But as far as it goes, the colors are not extremely important. Whatever color you happen to have is just fine.
Yeah, let's see here. I have a GAD. Please give me switch word to concentrate on my studies, overcome unnecessary anxiety and stress, negativity, and overthinking. So we kind of did that up in the beginning, but.
Okay. Well, Ho slow, I like that for calming down. Ho is about relaxing. Slow is about being patient. That's my go-to all the time when it comes to stress and anxiety. Ho slow. Be patient. Relax. Lavender is about letting go of anxiety. It's also one that's very useful for sleep because it helps you to relax into sleep. Some people work with that for that. I like to work with it for either one. It doesn't matter. Another one for sleep and letting go of anxiety going into sleep is sweet violets. And that one was fascinating to see come in because I had not realized I had been using it on toddlers when I was working with my grandkids, tending them when they were tiny. I would sing the song Sweet Violets, and I have one grandson who he'd never make it through the first verse. And even at the age of, I think, 12, he said, "Grandma, don't sing that song."
Let's see here. Okay, that's just wrote a thrown out comment. Which swap van help with getting out of your way? Swap van? I don't know.
What?
It says, which swap van help with getting out of your way? Not sure what a swap van is. Probably meant swap word.
Switch word for getting out of your way. Well, let's see. Shut. I like shut. Shut is about stop causing trouble. And cut, I use those two together all the time. Cut, shut. Cut is to sever negative ties, and shut is to stop looking for trouble. So those two can be useful on that. And release is let it go. Postpone is also about letting things go. Drop is also. I don't have the switch words list in front of me to give you the exact meanings, but those are a few of them that come up about that. And together, once again, is about mastering things and letting go of all of the things that don't serve you.
DSWVA, just what? I don't know. Deli says, "Hello, Catman. So glad to see you live. Could you please make a video on vibrational balancing, VBM, and how to use Sanjivini for different issues?"
Okay. Sanjivinis are not really deep in our focus at this point. The vibrational balancing images, I'll see what I can do on that, but they're very, very simple to use. You use them similar to energy circles, but you never, ever, ever write in them, okay? You don't write a name inside a vibrational balancing image. And they're otherwise used the same as energy circles. You can charge yourself, 3-finger charge, where you just put 3 fingers inside the circle. You can charge water with them, and you can stack them, meaning you can charge water or yourself with multiple images. I'm taken back to when the vibrational balancing images were brand new. I had a 3-year-old out on the porch suddenly stand up and say, "It bit me." It looked like it was an ant bite, but here in Arizona, you worry about what might have bitten. I snatched that little girl up and I took her in the house, and I started running vibrational balancing through vibrational balancing images for insect bites and such. I have a combination of cards that I use for that. And when I first got her in the house, it had begun swelling. It was white at the very center. You could see where the bite was, but it was swelling. And by the time I got her set up with the computer and doing that, it was about the size of a quarter. And I was quite concerned about that. And so we decided that we were going to take her up and have her seen at an instant care place. And I called her mom and told her. And so we met her there. But by the time we got there, the red was almost completely gone. You could only basically see, it was down smaller than a dime. And you could only really see the puncture holes. And Mama, my daughter, was like, "You called me on this?" It's like, you have no idea how fast it swelled up and looked. It was red and big old white knob. And so that was one of my first experiences with the vibrational balancing images. There's the sports injury combination that we have, and I do have that up on my Switchwords Cat YouTube channel that we have used a whole lot for any kind of injury. Shut a finger in the door and you just know it's going to have a purple fingernail, and run the combination. Gone. Nothing to worry about. Powerful fun. Anyway.
Let's see here. Archie Awash. I cannot speak today. Awashi. Ma'am, could you please explain sending energy circles through red and blue ray? Not sure.
You visualize those rays going. Just close your eyes. Visualize those waves going to whatever your target is. And just visualize the energy circle going along to that. If you are not familiar with energy work and working with the rays, skip it. Just do the printout, do the frame or whatever, and personalize and do it that way. Don't make it hard. Don't try and do something complicated that you don't understand. It's not a big deal. You have so many ways to work with the energy circles that you don't need to really push into an area that you're not familiar with. Yeah, you can learn about it. Learn about the rays. And once you learn about the rays, and no, I don't have anything about rays on Blue Iris. It's kind of outside of my scope for the most part. But if you have familiarity with it, certainly you can use that. You can send energy circles in spheres with Reiki if you're a Reiki master. But you kind of need to learn those techniques and those things, and they're outside of Blue Iris. You need to go into those areas to learn those things, and then you can apply the switch words, the energy circles in those things. And so the energy circles and all of these tools can be married to many techniques that you may find online and have learned on your own. You can go, hey, I can do this, and that's great. Do it. Okay.
All right. Ariana, is writing enough? Is right. My brain is going too fast. I had too much coffee. Is writing on body enough every day for it to work? Also, how much should we chant a phrase in a day? 20 times, 20 minutes, numbers, etc. We kind of talked about that.
Okay. Yeah, we did talk about that a little bit earlier, but as far as it goes, there is no set rule. When people start putting rules and you start getting anxious that you're not doing it enough or you're not doing it right, you're causing yourself stress where you don't need it. And that's switch words, diffusing words, these numbers, they're not designed to cause you stress. They're to relieve things, to make things easy. The switch words take your affirmations and make it a word instead. And then you can have a number of affirmations in a single switch phrase. Well, that's kind of cool. You're encompassing quite a bit in just a few words. That's totally cool. But when you start going, okay, I need to repeat it this many times, I need to repeat it for this long, you're overcomplicating. You don't need overcomplication. The energy circles came in as a way to make it even easier. You can set it and forget it. I have seen that happen so many times. The one that always stands out in my mind and that I've talked about before is the lady whose sister-in-law tried to get pregnant for 7 years. She put her name and a switch phrase I gave her on a piece of paper, drew a green circle around it, sat it on her fridge, forgot about it, and 3 months later, when it came flying off of the fridge, she saw it, realized what it was because she had forgotten and hadn't told her sister-in-law, and her sister-in-law was pregnant. So less than 3 months and she was pregnant after 7 years of trying. That was one of the first ones that was like, wow, this is powerful technique. But there are lots more. So.
Yes, Rhoda says, pillar of peace of I does help when you wish to get excused. I don't know what that was referring to. I missed something, I guess.
Pillar of the peace of I. That is out of Ho'oponopono. And a lot of the diffusing words are also in Ho'oponopono. In fact, when we were looking at open switch words and looking for additional ones early on, Rhoda brought Pillar of the Peace of I and Dewdrop and a few other words that were in Ho'oponopono and wanted to know if they were switch words. And I was getting that they were not switch words, but there was something about them. And as I read in on Ho'oponopono and started to read some of the stuff, they were really not defining much of what any of those words do. They called them cleaning tools. And so I started to look into exactly what is it that these mean and what is it that they're doing. And the diffusing words began to come in at that point. And diffusing is about releasing, letting go. So diffusing situations, diffusing emotions, that's what the diffusing words are about. And as I said, they came in and started coming in from the Ho'oponopono. So look up Ho'oponopono, learn a little bit about that, because that is the root where the original diffusing words began.
Okay. Shil Shah. What energy circle can I use for clearing energy blocks of brain, third eye, and crown?
I'm not going to say any specific energy circle because, one, I'm not on my computer right now. This is all coming right from here. But I can tell you a few things that can be helpful. Of course, clear is a switch word. It's about diffusing the anger and resentment, which are a lot of times what are standing in the way of things like that. 73, we do have a few switch words that are numbers, but 73 is all about opening up the psychic connections. And crystal is also something it's about accessing universal knowledge. It's about clarifying things. It's about looking to the future. Blue iris is about connecting to higher realms. And so you have those things. And numbers, can't tell you because I would have to look. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but I do look up numbers and I do look up switch words and diffusing words for the things that I want all the time. And so it's not all right there in my head. We have, I believe, over 400 switch words at this point, and I don't remember how many diffusing words, but probably something like 200 diffusing words at this point. And so they're not all just right out there, but you can go to the list and you can scan through them and you can learn. Take the time to learn. That's what I'm all about. That's why it's the Learning Center, because you can learn so much just by reading and scanning and applying and experiencing what happens.
All right. Rhoda could not resist sharing that most of the switch word pairs and other healing numbers can be called using energy vials. We appreciate that, Rhoda.
There are energy vials. In fact, it was the emotional freedom vial that brought me to switch words.
Yep.
I have a friend, haven't talked to him in quite a while, David Wilson, who's in, I believe, Toronto, Canada, who sent me Nirav's book, which was the electronic book, and you could read the first several pages and then you had to pay in order to read more. And when I found that the switch word reach encompassed almost everything in one of my files, I said, I have got to learn this technique. And suddenly we had a whole new realm open up to us with the switch words. And so, but the vials, simplify. I'm all about simplifying things. I take all the complexities, I put them together, I make it very simple for you, and that's basically what those energy vials do. You have the emotional freedom vial, which is the energy of the emotional freedom techniques, which I tapped through earlier in it, and it's linked to a whole bunch of files that go through and help to bring the energy of statements and affirmations and switch words and all kinds of things in. And then you have Blue Iris Wellness, which is an auto running, though you can give it specific directions as to what to do, but it's all about, of course, your wellness. And there's an article on Blue Iris. It's at vials.blueiris.org that gives you a list of articles about all of the different energy vials that are available. But the very first one that I created was the Flower Energies vial. And that came in because at the time it first came to me, had no idea what Bach flowers were. And 3 times in 2 days, people referred me to something about Bach flowers. And when things come in threes, it's time to pay it attention. I had another friend, he's in Canada, Nathan, can't remember his last name, but Nathan in Canada, I was chatting with him and he said, Kat, there's something really big that you need to do and you just need to get on with it. And so in that moment when he said that, I realized it was about the flowers and it was about making the Flower Energies vial. And so the first energies that we put into the Flower Energies vial were the Bach flower energies, and then we've added a whole lot more. I think we have well over 200 flowers in the Flower Energies vial at this point in time. There's the Whatever vial, which was my first auto running vial, and basically what it does is it looks for a problem, and when it finds the problem, it becomes the problem to center the body's attention on whatever the problem is, and then that encourages the body to heal it. And that's kind of an interesting concept. It basically tends to, whatever a problem is, it centers on it, and you feel something seems to get much stronger. You feel it much more for maybe 30 seconds or a minute, and then suddenly it's gone. And so that was kind of an interesting one to see come in. And then we have the Healing Energy Vibrations, which has 6 different techniques in it, which includes Ho'oponopono Essence and several others. Anyway.
All right. So, Sangeeta Gupta, hello everyone. Ma'am, please tell me something for mental health, unexplained weight gain during menopause, and someone else commented similarly, something to overcome laziness and procrastination.
Okay. Go is about just doing it, and so it's about progressing, and so that's a switch word there. We have a diffusing word that came in several months ago that's really quite fascinating. It is kind of long. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, push. That's about pushing beyond and just doing. That came from the book, The 5-Second Rule, where, trying to remember the author's name, it's either her first or her last name is Robin. Anyway, she said that what she found was all the procrastination that she had been doing kind of started to disappear when she actually started just getting up in the morning. Mel Robbins. Thank you, Brent. When she started just getting up in the morning, she got rid of so many things that were preventing her from doing things. And what she was doing is the countdown of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and then she would push through and do things. She found that one of the biggest problems that people create for themselves is that hitting the snooze button. Because when you hit the snooze button, when your alarm goes off in the morning, you actually start a new sleep cycle. And a sleep cycle usually is 60 to 90 minutes long. And so when you keep interrupting that by the alarm going off every 5 minutes, you are actually fatiguing yourself more. She said that she took her alarm clock into the bathroom. I believe it was the bathroom. Anyway, she put it far away from her bed. So when the alarm went off, she had to get up, and it's the movement of getting up that begins to energize you. But she found that when she quit hitting the snooze button and she just started going, then it made a difference for her. And that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, when you are inspired to take action, when you have an idea come to your mind, that first 5 seconds after it comes to your mind, your ego uses to talk you out of it. So the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is about pushing past that, shutting down the mind talk, quieting that mind talk that's going to talk you out of doing something. Like, say you're sitting in a meeting, you have an idea pop into your head about something you want to present. Instead of speaking, you start that conversation. What if nobody likes it? It's probably a stupid thing. And you talk yourself out so you don't ever do it. And then sometimes, somewhere, someone else gets the idea and they walk on with it. And that could have been you. So I added the push to make you start taking action. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, push to take action. And so that's something that you may find useful there.
All right. How about the mental health, unexplained weight gain during menopause?
Okay. Mental health. B always comes up there because what you're doing is you're allowing other people to give you your thoughts about yourself. You want to be unaffected by that. That's one of the things. B. And together, I'm thinking, without the list right in front of me, quiet is about quieting the ego, because it's in that constant flow of thoughts that you get from the ego that you wind up in a situation where you are overthinking. And so forgive me that I don't have a lot when it comes to mental health, but B is one of the important things. Quiet is one of the important things. And release. Right now, mea culpa, that's kind of interesting, is coming up as well. Interesting. Mea culpa is about taking responsibility for whatever in your life. Sometimes we're in a situation where we don't want to take responsibility. I don't want to admit this, and maybe in burying that, we are creating the mind chatter where we're talking about all the horrible things that we did, or the horrible this, or the horrible that. But mea culpa, look it up. It's a diffusing word. Is powerful help. It's coming up here. It's interesting because I do have that happen. I'll be thinking about something. I'll be doing a consultation, and all of a sudden I'll have something come up that didn't make sense to me up front. Why did that come up? And I start to talk and I start to realize, oh, that's why. So
Okay. So the next-
wait.
Wait.
Oh,
Okay.
wait. WEIGHT. Tiny is about shrinking things. Chisel may be useful. Bricks. Bricks are about building, fortifying. I see it as building muscle. And muscle weighs more than fat. Muscle is much more compact. Muscle requires energy to be maintained. Fat just hangs there. Fat doesn't use up any calories. Fat doesn't do anything for you. And so bricks are about that. Bruce Lee is about pushing through barriers and just doing things, because that's what he did. He was his own stuntman.
His own everything, yeah.
And he just went through and he pushed through and did everything. And so Bruce Lee may be something that would be useful there. So continue is about building endurance. So you have the continue. Those are the ones that come up front.
All right, next, Gaming with Assassin says E equals IS and 10 raised to the power of minus 17. What exactly are they?
Oh, E is equal to IS. That's about, that's a formula for energy and converting energy. And the 10 to the negative 17 power is also about transforming negative into positive. And I can't tell you exactly the definitions. We have them available, but on the computer. But that's basically, it's about transforming negatives to positives on both of those.
All right. Simonel Jaswala says, thank you so much for your advice. Which energy circles can be kept under a pillow? How do we differentiate these?
Okay. If it's one to make you exercise, to make you move, to make you study, probably those active ones you don't want under your pillow or mattress. You want them to sleep. If you want to sleep, have energy circles about relaxing, healing. You can put healing ones under your pillow or mattress. You can do, most energy circles are fine under there, but if it's an active energy, if it's inciting you to do something that takes action, you might not want to put it there. If you put an energy circle under your pillow or mattress and you can't sleep, that's a clue. You probably don't want that one there.
All right. Can we do proxy 3-finger charge for someone? This is Pooja Janisha.
Okay.
They also asked about the red and blue rainbow. You can't talk about that, so.
Okay. So, okay, I lost it.
Can we do a 3-finger proxy charge for someone?
Proxy. Sorry about that. I got lost in the race. Okay, so set your intention that I am doing this proxy for, and then yes, you can do that. Very simple. There is an article at Blue Iris. It's under Proxy. Imagine that, proxy.blueiris.org, that you will find more in-depth information about working proxy for somebody. I always set my intention as proxy, and the reason I do that is because surrogate, because it sounds like they're basically the same thing, but the body's default, when you want to do work on somebody else, the body's default for some reason is surrogate. But surrogate brings your two energies together. And boy, did Kat get in trouble when she set her husband surrogate for somebody who had had an accident, and I did some work on the gentleman that had been in an accident, and the gentleman didn't want to take his kidney back. And for a couple of days, my husband was really complaining, and I had to basically force the person to take their kidney back. And I found that you don't necessarily want to do surrogate. There was also a good friend of mine who we would do a lot of work, and this was outside of Switchwords and energy circles. This was working with the total body modification and natural healing work that I do. Anyway, when we got together, she wanted to work on family members a lot. And so we would do work on her, and we would do work on family members. And one day she said, I just can't do this. I can't do the surrogate for family members anymore because it's wearing so hard on my energy. And I remember there's something else, telling her there's something else we can do where you're not draining on your own energy. And sure enough, I get an email from her later that day where she says something about Proxy, and it's like, that's it. That's Proxy. Because what Proxy does is it allows you to do a reading of the energy and send the energy to and back and forth. You can do that, but it's not a blending. It's not where your energy winds up mixed in with theirs. And I don't know why the body defaults to surrogate, but that's been my experience. And so you always want to set your intention to be proxy for them. Use the word proxy.
All right. Let's see here. Rhoda gave a whole bunch of answers to stuff. Let's see here. Bedtime, how it just feels good for bedtime. Something I like to use for bedtime that makes my kid fall asleep. Hushabye, Sleepy Little Pony. He's like a brick. 814-2543 OCD code works well for me to shut up and sleep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Rhoda's putting a few things in comments about the sleep, and there is I believe it's a Grabavoy number for obsessive compulsive disorder, which she has found worked well. But as far as it goes with sleep, your specific switch word for sleep is off. OFF. What happens when you turn off a light? It goes to sleep. You turn off the TV, it goes to sleep. So off is seen as going to sleep. So off is your main switch word. And then you have, if you want to relax, the calm. And that ho slow I gave earlier is also a great switch pair for putting you to a space of sleep. Lavender is also about letting go of anxiety and going to sleep. Your sweet violets that I talked about a little while ago is also one that's really great for sleep. So,
All right.
Quiet. If you got that mind chatter going on, quiet. And then the frequency, 3.4 hertz. That's a great one for sleep too. Okay.
All right. So, Falavi Kate. Hi, ma'am. Will Sanjivini be counted as a third energy circle if I already have two energy circles personalized?
Okay, Sanjivinis, you never write inside. Just like the vibrational balancing images, you don't write inside them. Look up the Sanjivini organization. I think that if you just do a search on Sanjivini, you'll find it. It's saysanjivini.org or something like that. They tell you how to work with those things. It's a very different thing from an energy circle. You can charge water with Sangiovini's, you can do a combination that you've charged water with. You always say a prayer while you are charging. And then there is a broadcasting card from the Sangiovini Foundation that you set that source, the water that you have charged, on one side, and then on the other side, where you have the, I don't remember if it's Target or whatever. Anyway, you put either a picture or their name there to send it to them. It is not an energy circle. It doesn't count as an energy circle, and you never, ever write inside a Sangiovini. Okay?
All right. Let's see here. Proxy, always a wash thing. Thank you so much. You both are awesome. Seminole, Jaswala, can psoriasis be cured permanently? Please address energy circles and switchword phrases to achieve this.
Okay. As far as it goes with psoriasis, you're looking at the skin and the kidneys are responsible for the skin, because the skin uses a whole lot of water and kidneys are responsible for water. So obviously water is something there. Skin, the rock is what I see as what the skin is. It's protective of everything inside. Rock is your diffusing word that helps to work with skin, and grace is about smoothing things. And as far as it goes, I believe I have in my stash an energy circle about psoriasis, but that's in my proprietary stuff, and it may be on the subscription boards. If you are a subscribing member of Blue Iris, you can check there, and if you're not, and you subscribe to Blue Iris and you ask me specifically about it, I'll make sure it's there or get it there. I probably have well over, in fact, I know I have well over 100 energy circles waiting to go up on the forum at Blue Iris. And like I said, there are a lot of proprietary. We have feelings associated with a lot of illnesses and diseases. And so we do have a list of the feelings that are associated with psoriasis, I believe, and switch words to help accept and release them, because we swallow emotions down when we don't accept them, and they go to specific areas in the body and they cause issues in those areas. And so we want to use switch words to release those. And oil is about releasing resistance. And so oil just came up as also something to work with something like psoriasis. Psoriasis may also relate to allergies to different things, and so we want to align with and allow that. And allergies, a huge thing on allergies, once again, is back to water. You gotta let that body carry those toxins out. So.
Speaking of water, take a drink.
I need to take a drink?
Your voice is drying out. I can hear it.
I'm gold.
There you go. Let's see here. Someone else has to answer that question you just answered. Studi. Oh, hey, there's Studi. Love
Hey,
you guys.
Studi.
Thank you, Kat, Joe, and Brent. And you're welcome. Let's see. Gaming with Assassin. Do energy vials need to stay in your auric field always?
No. Okay. The energy vials, if somebody owns one of my energy vials, whether they have it with them or not, they have access to the virtual vial. So if you're out and about and you have something that you want to work on, You can visualize the energy, the energy vial. I almost said circle. Now I did. On your chest. Call whatever you want and run it, or tell it what you want if it's Blue Iris Wellness or whatever. And so you can actually work with it if you are a vial owner. Now, if you don't own the vial, you don't have access to the virtual vials. It's only vial owners, or if I open it up to you for a period of time. It was kind of interesting. I had somebody at one point in time said, Kat, I noticed that sometimes I'll practice working with some of the emotional freedom files after we've had a session, and sometimes I feel it working and I get access, and other times I don't. And at the time, she didn't own the emotional freedom vial. I just told her that's because I left it open for you for an hour or something after we completed our session, so that you could do anything that you wanted to do. And she was like, I'm not trying to steal from you, but so anyway, as a vial owner, it doesn't have to be in your energy field. And yes, you can use an energy circle to broadcast from that vial if you want to. Just put your name in the energy circle along with the vial and whatever files or whatever that you want to have addressed there.
All right. Anna Benewal, which diffusing word energy circles can be used to become more strong and stable emotionally due to overwhelming sudden changes and traumatic events? It caused a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Something for that to not affect the person.
Okay, we're back to B again. And that, I'm telling you, B is powerful. Very, very powerful. Let me think of what else. Of course, together. And what else? You have to forgive me because I don't have the list right in front of me. Forgive. Absolve. Absolve is about letting go of obtaining a waiver, letting go of the guilt over something, letting go of blame. Those things are what make you unstable in your emotional thing, because in your emotional set, because you are ruminating over what should have been, what could have been, what somebody did to you, what you did to somebody else. Absolve is about that. And then I'm also taken right back to the prayer of forgiveness, which I do have on Blue Iris. And imagine that. The quick, easy link is POF, as in prayer of forgiveness, .blueiris.org. Take that, read it daily for a month. Don't have to read it several times a day. Just once a day is just fine. If you want to read it more, that's okay. But read the whole thing. And there are some lines in there that can be extremely difficult, because I've had people say, but I was a child. I didn't have control over it. Why am I saying that I forgive these people for things that they did that I allowed them to do to me and the reason is they've usurped your power. You want to take your power back? You forgive. Take responsibility for, okay, I let this person do something to me that I didn't know I could control at any point or anything like that. It's about forgiving it, releasing yourself. When you forgive somebody, you're not releasing them. No, you're releasing you. You no longer need to feed that energy. You're releasing yourself. It doesn't mean what they said, what they did, their actions. It doesn't mean it was right. It simply means you no longer care to have that in your energy field. You can let it go. Letting it go doesn't mean they have to be back in your life. If you want them back in your life, great. But it doesn't mean that you have to let them in. You can forgive them and move on.
Yep. Cool. Let's see here. Where else? Which diffuser? So we just talked about that one. We just talked about that one. Okay, cool. Diswa. I am not saying DSWBA Delhi. Thanks for the information. Would you also elaborate on VB replicate and transmit method to use for particular issue? What's the meaning of source and target in VB cards?
Okay, as far as it goes, that is about sending the energy of the cards to somebody. So just like with the Sanjeevinis, you can take a glass of water or something with water, and you can charge it with multiple vibrational balancing images. And then you can set that on, I believe it's called the source side. And then you can put a person's picture or name on the target side. And that then is broadcasting those images, the vibrational balancing images, to that person. And so that card in and of itself doesn't do anything. It must be used with the charged water and the person's name that you're sending it to. That's what that's about.
All right. Let's see here.
Oh, one more thing. When it comes to the vibrational balancing images, we have found that the tired feet vibrational balancing image is invaluable after an illness. It is one that if you have recovered from something and you're just feeling like your energy just isn't quite with it yet, use the tired feet. That was actually one of the first vibrational balancing images that we completed. And I showed up at my daughter's house with it. And we went up to the loft and I showed it to her, and she was sitting back just totally tired after a very long week. And I had her charge herself with it with the 3 fingers from her left hand. She did that. And then her husband walked out of the room with it and went downstairs. And when she stood up to go downstairs, she hollered at her husband, "Keep that!" because it had made such a huge difference in how she felt doing that. And that was one of the things that made it very clear how well the vibrational balancing images can work for you.
All right. Rhoda says, absolutely love your work, Kat. Pooja Junija says, thank you, love you, Kat. Rhoda, Studio Brett, Divine Embrace.
Awesome.
And that's her. Is there anything else? That one. Is there any switchword for that? Are there any switchwords for oversensitive people to not react to criticism? Rhoda said use stress calming energy circles and one for something like that. No, she was hers. Stop listening to me.
Gotta love my son, don't you? He's over there going,
I'm trying to knock myself down.
don't listen to me, Mom.
Any switchword for oversensitive people to not react to criticism?
There's your B again. B, 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 B. And quiet. Be quiet, be quiet. Limit. Those are all switch words that can help you in those situations. Recognize this. Everybody is looking at you through their own filters. They come to every conversation to every interaction with a story already written. It's already there. And you are already listening to it and you're reacting to whatever your story is about them before they take any action. You already have a story about them. Let that go. They already have a story about you. Let it go. It's not about you. It's never been about you. Adjust. I have an article, and I think I just named it adjust.blueiris.org, but it's about the switchword adjust. And if you go to the Switchwords list and you click on adjust there, it'll take you to that article. But it's never about you. It's never really about you, whatever somebody does. And so adjust is a very powerful switch word in that type of a situation.
All right. This here, Ariana says, I am a student trying to get into dream college. However, admissions are not open yet. Should I use any energy circles starting now before admissions in June or after it opens? What more can I do? And we kind of talked about this in the beginning, but.
Well, yeah, you can, there's, I love whole shebang. That's HOLE, which is about attracting. And shebang is about you are everything, all included. You're the whole banana. You're everything. You have, and so I love whole shebang. That could be good. And ridiculous scheme. Ridiculous is about centering attention on you. Scheme is about advertising yourself. And so you have those things. And I can't tell you the name of an energy circle, and it doesn't really matter. You can make your own. It's not necessary to take one that's somewhere, but I can't tell you. I don't have access to the energy circles and stuff right now because I'm just here talking to you, and my computer, it's facing him. He's over there using it. Yeah. And so those are just a few things. ACT is about presenting yourself well. Oh, elegant. I love elegant. Elegant is about standing out while fitting in, and it's about presenting yourself well, making a good first impression. And so there are a few of your switch words that may be useful to put in that energy circle, and you can make your own. Everybody doesn't have to make it for you. You are learning. That's why you're here. That's why you're at the group. That's why you're on Blue Iris, is you're learning how to do these things on your own. Right now, we have a workshop going on, the Blue Iris Gold workshop, and Studi is there showing you how you can use the tools and make your own stuff instead of depending on somebody else always to do it for you. Because you know what? You're the one that knows you best. And you will find that there are certain things that just really resonate with you. And I totally love Studi's workshops. I oversee all of them. And it's just fun. I'll be there and something will come up, and you'll see a cat rant come up there. In fact, this week I wrote a new Switching Switches poem. Don't remember what I called it. Time for Switching Switches Again or something like that. And I've put it up everywhere, but guess what? That came up to do that at the workshop that's currently going on. And all the people that were at the workshop were the first ones to see that Switching Switches poem come up because it was an inspiration that came from those workshops. And so I totally love attending Studi's workshops. She's a magnificent instructor. She brings everybody along, and people tend to leave there knowing so much more and confident about themselves. So I trust this has been helpful for you guys. And we'll plan on doing another one sometime soon, hey?
Yeah, so thank you. Thanks everybody for watching.
Yes,
We're out
thank
here.
you for thank you for watching. And just like last time, Brent will probably go through and pull out bits and pieces and give you some shorts on what we did today. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. Have a wonderful day or night.